Tonight, we are talking about the way people think about Portland and its many issues, and that is certainly our big story. We're taking a look at the Portland Insight Survey. It was commissioned by the city of Portland to get an idea of what people actually think about the city and its problems. I'll go ahead and tell you up front, none of this information is really going to surprise you. I'm betting that every one of you can tell us what people think the city's top problems are. Here they are: homelessness, community safety, and the cost of living here. Homelessness overwhelmingly takes the top spot. More than 44% of the people surveyed said that was their top concern. 21% said cost of living, and 19% said safety. By the way, if you're wondering, this was a random survey sent to 20,000 households throughout the city with additional targeted outreach to traditionally underrepresented groups. They got back about 5,300 completed surveys. Racial discrimination and climate change, by the way, were the next highest concerns, but those didn't even crack 4% of the total. The purpose of the survey was to give city leaders an idea of what's really weighing on the minds of Portlanders. They also wanted to hear from people who moved out of the city within the last few years, presumably so that leaders can make decisions and maybe make changes that would address those concerns. So let's dig into some of the responses, because those three issues are pretty closely tied together, as you'll see with some of these responses. The survey allowed people to anonymously write out their opinion on each section. Here's what someone said about homelessness. Homelessness is the biggest problem, which is tied to lack of affordability. However, the biggest issue is our handling of the homeless problem. The homeless population and permissiveness of camping everywhere has led to rampant property crimes and lack of public safety. Now, when it comes to where city leaders should focus their budget, again, overwhelmingly the response was affordable housing and homeless services. Nearly half of the survey takers chose that option, but safety services like police, fire, and 911 were next, with the next highest choice. Now, when it comes to safety, the survey asked people whether they feel safe walking around day or night in their own neighborhoods versus downtown. 74% agreed or strongly agreed with the statement, "I do feel safe walking around during the day in my neighborhood." But the answer is very different when we talk about Portland's downtown. During the day, about 42% of the people said that they feel safe walking around the central city. About 35% of the people said they do not feel safe during the day in downtown Portland. And it's a much different picture at night in downtown. 72% of the people say they do not feel safe walking around in downtown Portland at night. Only 21% of the people said, "Yeah, I'm okay with it." Let's take a look at some of the responses there. One person summed it up pretty succinctly: "It's not safe to walk alone in this city anymore." Another person: "I wouldn't go out at night because I would be afraid to get killed outside." And one respondent worried about safety and racism, writing, "Currently, I do not feel safe for myself or my wife to walk around in downtown Portland. Asian hate crimes and mental health homeless challenges changed my mindset in regards to safety. I currently do not recommend any friends or family go visit or come to Portland due to safety concerns." So pretty strong there. People reported not feeling safe on public transit as well, walking or biking through the city, even taking their kids to school. So pretty widespread. They blamed it on Portland's increased crime rates, open-air drug use, people sleeping in public areas in tents, speeding cars, and people having mental health crises. So yes, all the things you've heard about. And they also blamed Portland police for either being slow to respond to their concerns, not responding at all, or not following up after they have reported things to them. Another graph that probably won't surprise you: how satisfied are people that Portland is clean? Most people not at all satisfied. Nearly 74% said Portland's streets were not clean enough for them. And remember, this survey did have a decent sample size of over 5,000 people. So if none of this is surprising, why are we reporting it? Well, for one thing, it's because a lot of people are moving away from Portland and out of Multnomah County, and they're taking a ton of money with them. The Oregonian just did a big analysis of all this, and we think that is worth your time to check out. They took a look at data released by the Internal Revenue Service and found that people leaving Multnomah County from 2020 to 2021 took more than $1 billion, yes with a B, $1 billion in income with them. That's a record loss for the county. More than 14,000 tax filers and their dependents gone in a single year. That's a big number. According to the O, most of them were higher earners as well. You can check out their article. They also get into where people are going. But we wanted to hear from a Multnomah County economist for his take on how the population shrinkage affects you and me.
First, the available labor force shrinks, so there are fewer people that are able to work the available jobs. And with fewer people working, there is less money coming into the local economy. So from an economic perspective, you don't like that. But then also with less people earning income, you have fewer people paying taxes. So city services or government services could potentially decline. And it could also lead to stuff like school closures.
So yeah, taxpayers are important. In fact, higher earning taxpayers are important. Some of you might be thinking a smaller population might be nice, less traffic, smaller class sizes for your kids, maybe even some more housing available. We need that, don't we? But the economist said, nah, those benefits would be small and won't do much to offset the hit to the local economy. We're already seeing this effect play out in a smaller way when you take a look at the drop in the number of people commuting into Multnomah County every day. That number has fallen dramatically since before the pandemic, and it's impacting jobs.
This has had a huge effect, especially in Portland and Multnomah County, because there's about an estimated 59,000 fewer people in the county during the workday. It's a 6% decline from 2019. So this has had an effect on mostly service positions across the city, but mostly in the downtown core.
Isn't that amazing? 59,000 less people in the county during the workday. The economist said that leisure and hospitality employment is currently down 16% since 2019. That translates to about 9,000 fewer jobs. Let's take a look now at why people are leaving. Going back to the Portland Insight survey that we started with, when we take a look at the three biggest issues in Portland, homelessness, affordability, and crime, which one do you think has people leaving the most? Well, turns out it's affordability more than anything else. Around 37% of the people said they left Portland within the last 5 years because they found a more affordable home. The other top reasons had more to do with personal life than with wider city issues. People left to be closer to work, school, family, or friends, or for a better job or school district. Only about 10% of people said that they left the city because they were concerned about public safety and violence, and less than 7% left because of the homelessness issue. So, of the top three problems in the survey, affordability seems to be the biggest reason for people to be moving out. Okay, one last graph for you, because the whole point of the survey was to get city leaders to give them an idea of the problems, to try to help them address them. So what do people think about our city leaders and city government? You get one guess, and the first one doesn't count because you know the answer. Just over half the responders say Portland does not have an effective government. Less than a quarter of respondents, only 23%, think that city leaders are doing well. As for the written responses, many people directly blamed Portland's leaders for its current problems. One person wrote, "Because of weak political leadership, I watched my own neighborhood grow substantially more unsafe over the last 2 years." And another simply said, "The local government has failed to meet the challenges of the last 4 to 5 years. The city is in total disarray." Well, as always, we want your take as well. We know you always have great thoughts on the state of the city of Portland and how city leaders are doing to address it. Tell us your top concerns, will you, and why you feel that way. If you left Portland or Multnomah County in the last few years, why did you leave? And what do you think are the solutions to the situation that we find ourselves in? Send us an email. The address is thestory@kgw.com, or call and leave a voicemail. The phone number is 503-226-5090.